Okay, here we go. Okay, we're here in our show. We got our friend, our brother, Joshua Frye.
What's
So
up,
good to
guys?
have
Hello,
you,
Joshua.
Jeffrey, with me. And pretty much to introduce Joshua, he's one of the ICCS instructors in Florida.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So, well, just let us know who you are, what's your background a little bit, and start, chatting with you a little bit.
Yeah, man. So I'm from Fort Myers, Florida, Estero. I've been with ICCS for 6 to 7 years now, 6 years now,
6 years.
and I'm the USA director for schools. So sure calls me the USA boss. So
Cool.
that's a responsibility to make sure that people are kind of following the ICCS methodology and have any questions about our systems. I own a MMA school in Fort Myers, Florida, and it's called the Grounds Mixed Martial Art Academy. We run several programs there, Krav Maga being one of our foundational programs.
Mm.
And then we do Muay Thai kickboxing. I'm a black belt under Duke Rufus for his striking system. If you guys know who Duke Rufus is, he is one of the top five, in my opinion, striking coaches in the
Yeah.
UFC and mixed martial arts. I'm also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Daniel Wanderlei, Carlson Gracie team. And I've been in martial arts since I was 7 years old. I'm 43. So I've been in martial arts for over 35 years. And I love the martial art lifestyle. I love the people. And I just love to train. I love to teach and train, man. That's my thing.
That's cool. I feel the same passion.
You like fight? Good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like fighting.
And I like to fight. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I like teaching
Oh,
people how to fight too.
Good.
that's
Good.
it. Yeah. What do you think? Because before we talk about ICCS, like there's, I guess, in my case, I started martial arts because I got into a lot of trouble, and I used to be picked up by somebody else, and we, Jeffrey and I, grow in a bad neighborhood, so you're exposed to a lot of stuff. And one day I said, like, well, I had enough, and I need to know how to fight for real because I have many fights in the street, but you really don't know what the fuck you're doing. So I started training judo and Japanese jiu-jitsu as a self-defense system. Started competing, and well, from there I started, going, being part of the national team, the judo national team for many years. I compete, outside in Pan American tournaments, pre-Olympic tournaments, big tournaments. I wasn't
Good
that
judo.
experienced, but I have, you know, rough enough times to understand what the real deal is.
Yes, sir. Judo is amazing, man. I love that martial art. I wish was better at judo. Judo is amazing, man.
Yeah, yeah. And well, I'm a black belt in Japanese jiu-jitsu, which is more like traditional martial art. The same, the fighting, kicking, and locks, and all
Hmm.
that stuff. But definitely, you need like that fighting method to learn how to fight and how to protect yourself. And then I have a couple of MMA fights, and now we pretty much we fight with everything, with sticks and knives and whatever you have, whatever is fighting, that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's one of the keys that I will make me start looking for something else, because I was already a black belt and then I have an arm route. Somebody just assault me and I feel like useless, even when I had this sense of security, because I was a black belt already and I was competing for many years. So you feel like comfortable to have a fight. Um, but that sensation of wow, I wasn't able to do anything. So I started researching. I started like training in guns and taking some more experience in my self defense. And then I found Krav. I bought some DVDs. I used to practice with a few of my black belt friends. Just for us, just to have, not because I was thinking about teaching, or that was like way far ago. And then I found this guy who was in the IDF army for many years. He was an army sergeant. So I started training with him, and it was a hell of a beating. So it was like a beating, and it was like stressful, and the guy was really like hard. So I like it because I was like, well, this is the thing that we were missing before. And
Yeah.
then I start seeing many other schools of Krav Maga, and they're just doing something different. So my question to you
Something for
is,
sure.
yeah, something different. My question for you is, why or what really make you get into ICCS instead of other,
Yeah.
Krav Maga
So
organizations?
no, for sure. Great question. I'm a traditional martial artist. So I started in 1985. I was that kid that was kicking his grandma because I watched The Karate Kid. And my mom was pretty tough. She was a single parent. She was a welder outside Chicago, Illinois, in northern Indiana is where we're from. And she wanted to place me into something that, gave me discipline because my dad wasn't in my life. And
Hmm.
so Taekwondo was it for me in 85. I wish Jiu-Jitsu and Krav was, there, but this is back in the day before UFC existed,
Yeah.
85. So I started kicking around and loving it. And 20 some years later, I was a fourth degree in Taekwondo, but I was missing something. I got into kickboxing, American kickboxing. I
Mhm.
loved it. I loved amateur kickboxing, but it wasn't until I heard about this, late 90s, 97, this Krav Maga stuff. I'm like, what is this Krav Maga stuff? And I watched a video, and most of us in the United States were exposed to Krav Maga worldwide. They
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
infiltrated the Taekwondo karate scene because MMA was already established in '93. It wasn't until the late '90s that you started finding real MMA schools, and
Yeah.
Krav Maga was like the alternative to MMA. There was like reality-based self-defense and MMA schools, and so
That's
the
really nice.
traditional
Actually, that
guys
the
like
videos
to
that I
do.
got was from worldwide. Yeah.
Yeah, Krav Maga wide. I actually got went through their first like instructor stuff, and but then I didn't really like it. I just felt it was like scripted. I felt it was like a workout. It was more
Hmm.
just push ups and squats and a lot of hitting the pads fast and aggressive, which is their level one. And then since then, there was a lot of high ranking instructors that came from that organization, and then they made up their own organizations, but they've never really fought in the military, or they've never really trained in Israel or trained those methodologies that make Krav Maga beautiful. And so then I joined into a program called Haganah. Haganah means Hebrew
Yeah.
for defense, and I was part of a fight program for 13 years. And that program was great. It was founded by Mike Lee Kinerick. But the problem is there was a lot of not telling the truth, and there was a lot of just beat the shit out of you. It really wasn't any technical advancement, and there really wasn't any really simple moves that I think were authentic. I think some of the stuff that was taught could get you hurt. And
Mhm.
so I'm thankful for it, though. I mean, I found jiu-jitsu because of that. I found all my connections in Muay Thai because of that. And then, but you evolve eventually, right?
Right.
And so I went to a buddy school, another Taekwondo friend that was part of the Haganah Fight organization, and he invited me to his school for a seminar. And I was like, it was Krav Maga, and I was like, bro, be honest with you, dude, I'm done with Krav Maga. I like MMA, I like jiu-jitsu, I like kickboxing, and I'm really tired of the make-believe stuff. And so, out of respect, though, I said, I'll come and support you because he's having this guy fly in from Jerusalem. I was like,
Mhm.
I'll check it out. I'll bring some guys up to support, brother, because you're my family. And so we drove up 2.5 hours to Tampa Tampa, Florida, and I met Richman. At the beginning of the weekend, he was super sweet, super cool. And I was like, I'm here just to experience what you have to show. And then within the first hour of him teaching knife defense, I was like, everything he taught was the holes and the things that made me feel wasn't authentic. And when he started teaching, it was so simple and so effective. I was like, I could teach that, and I believe that, and I think this is the real deal. And then throughout the weekend, you get to know who Sharir is, and you realize that it's no bullshit and he's the real deal, but he won't tell you that because he's so humble. And
Right.
after the weekend of hard training, Shapat's training, the reality stuff, and it was mostly boxing at first, not these choreographed moves where I touch you here, you touch me here.
Yeah. You just
And
try to survive.
yeah, it was just fucking awesome, man. It was like all my guys, my team from my MMA school were all about it. And it clicked all the right buttons, man. And it's no bullshit, it's no ego, it's not a money grab. It's all the things that these organizations are not. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I fell in love. And I was like, hey, I'm ready, man. What do I do? And he goes, I forget what he said. He was just so laid back, man. It is exactly what I needed to save my Krav Maga training. So started Krav Maga 97, 98. And then I haven't stopped. And I really jumped in with Sharir the last 6 years, and it brought the program back to my school. Now my program is thriving. We have an average 25 to 30 adults, every class in our Krav Maga, in addition to jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and MMA. So
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man. So I know I talk a lot
Yeah.
there, man. I can talk. My bad.
That's right. You're the
Yeah.
guest today. So,
Yeah, man.
yeah, sadly, we have the same thing here. Actually, I opened the first Krav Maga school in Central America, an official one. It bring me a lot of trouble because people were some very accepting about the idea of a Krav Maga school, and I was like kind of afraid because you got to prove. So in the first 3 years, actually, it was very stressful because I used to have people coming from other martial arts, and I have some fights in the dojo, just having fun and trying to prove because they were not coming to learn, they were coming to fight.
Yeah.
And well, um, good for
Welcome
me.
to Costa Rica. No, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Good, good. So, good for me. Um, I was very experienced at the time. I was like 15 years competing, so I wasn't like an amateur, and it was fun. I made some reputation because of that,
Yeah.
and from there has been very smooth. Then we start having other organizations, and then I see how everything started growing really, really fast.
Hmm.
And I was like, this is not right. Because you got people who got like, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years of practice, not even like teaching or, like just practice.
Yeah.
And they are instructors and they are experts and they are this and they are that. And there's people who really know they don't have that really experience because for
Oh,
example,
for
well,
sure.
you're a black belt in jiu-jitsu, you
I
told me,
mean,
well, I have 3 years of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I know you can fight.
yeah. Yeah,
If
there's
you have
black belts and
three
there's black belts,
years of
right?
boxing, I know you can fight. If you have three years of judo, of wrestling, even if
Yeah.
you're just going like a couple of days a week, you know
Yeah.
that you gotta stay uh, you gotta be careful because you know how to fight. But unfortunately, these places that and some other traditional martial arts, I'm a traditional martial artist, but I really hate bullshit.
Yeah.
So when you see people like and there's so many like internet, it have a lot of guys who is like a really show and they show off and they just have this amazing choreographies and stunts and flying people through the air. When I see a guy sitting in a chair like me, somebody grabbing his neck and he just grab him and make a throw to the front, I already said this is bullshit. I have
Bullshit.
been
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
I have been doing judo for 20 years. I'm an
Yeah.
expert in how to throw people, and I know that it's not like that.
Yes,
You're
sir.
just gonna get choked because you will have to fight first to get your position to be able to throw somebody just like that. I mean,
The
things can
grip fighting
happen.
alone, grip fighting
Right,
alone is it can end the fight right there.
right,
I think that stems from a lot of how Krav Maga was marketed, especially in North America. A lot of these traditional martial art guys needed to evolve to allow their students to see some of this reality combat. Either it's MMA or if
yeah,
it's jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or if it's reality self-defense, against knives and guns. And I think a lot of these people that have established schools at the time were traditional martial artists, and they're kids, some adult program, and they go away for a weekend and get certified, and now they're experts after a 3 to 5 day course. And that's far from the truth. It's
yeah.
got to be your hard training. Like your background has to have some kind of combat behind it, boxing, wrestling,
Hmm.
MMA, and
Real
then that
combat,
that
yes.
yeah, real combat, and that breeds that evolution into reality self defense. Because what we really train for is a 3 to 7 second fight. It's not like how many belts you have and how many katas or how many forms you can have. It's really about, do you have the mentality to survive a fight? That's the first thing. And the only arts that teach that are combat-based arts,
Yeah.
boxing, MMA, so that's where I think the problem is. There's a lot of these guys that get certified and they think they're experts, and then they go back to their schools where no one tests them, and they're teaching these choreography moves that make them feel good. They make them feel they're ready, but it's really farther from the truth. I think it's kind of criminal. You're teaching these people techniques that are going to get them hurt because they don't know how to box. They don't know how to take a hit. They don't know how to grapple. And, it's wrong. And that's what Krav Maga is so bad. That's why, I almost took it off my doors because, true Krav Maga is amazing if it's taught by the right way. It's, it is combat martial arts. It is MMA for the streets. But, a lot of schools have, taught it and exposed it in the wrong way. And so I totally understand, man. If there's people, especially in Costa Rica, visiting your team and stuff, and they said they're Krav Maga black belts, but they don't even know how to throw a jab. That's a problem. That's a problem.
I think that really the problem is, well, I say two problems. First, it's the Krav Maga name. People think it's just bullshit. If you go to a jiu-jitsu school or karate, Kyokushin school or some other places, kickboxing, whatever, Muay Thai, and you talk about, oh, we do Krav Maga. It's like, ah, fuck yeah, whatever, because they have seen it, or at least they have seen what is most popular.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people just don't know how to train. They don't hit the mat. They don't understand this lifestyle, and Rio recognizes real.
I understand. I mean, not everybody like to be punched in the face. Not everybody wants to feel choke or feel like useless because of, you just went to a grapple and everybody just like went over you. But that just makes you humble and makes you really understand that this is not a game.
No.
For example, I designed an anti-rape and kidnap course for women. We have four different modules. It's 1 day course. It's 8 hours of just hell. we just do small things, but we just go hard. We just go hard, and I push them and I push them. And right at the end, we have this like reality check, which is like we put all the girls like in a room. They have been kidnapped. They're gonna be like sexual slaves, and we bring them like 2 at a time. So we put a bag in their head. We take them to the mat, and we start like messing and start telling things, and then we attack. The attack, we just put it in the ground. It's just like a little wrestling. We are not punching. We are not hurting. We're controlling. We're going a little hard, but we are very aggressive verbally.
Yeah.
So it's very stressful because even we have some vests. We have vests so we can kind of touching them, and they can feel comfortable. And they go through that experience. Right at the end, they say, "Well, I really have to be aware because I don't want to be involved in this situation."
Yeah.
I thought that I was able to fight, but now I understand that it's really hard. It's very stressful. It's very energy consuming, and they understand. And I think that really makes people safe. You know what can happen.
Yeah.
And through practice, you start learning skills and getting better and understanding how to solve problems.
I think that the heart of it, Edgar, is it's about how you train. I mean, that's what's wrong with a lot of Krav Maga. It's not necessarily all Krav Maga is bad. That's out there. It's not ICCS. There's some great organizations out there.
Sure.
It's just how you train. It's how you train. It's that mindset of how the instructor sets up the format in the program. Now, if it's a 8-hour seminar for females, or if it's everyday classes with everyday people, we have, what I love about ICCS is that we have what's called the warrior mindset training, where we actually develop through stressful drills that Sharir teaches in the IDF currently, with the Dudavan and the units that are overseas. When it comes to that warrior mindset, getting the shikpots on, hitting you like crazy, and enacting that chaos. That's super important, because most people that, and every day, most people don't walk on the street. They want to get hit in the face. You know, I don't
Right.
go outside, I'm gonna get hit in the face today. And so, you know, when we bring our students here and teach authentic Krav Maga, you know, we have to have a controlled environment, but they have to feel stress. And that's super
Sure.
important, because how are you gonna react if you never feel it? If the first time you get hit in the face is in the street, then you got a damn problem, you know?
Yeah.
So I love that, man. I love the fact that you're trying to make reality, especially, you know, when it comes to abducting women. It's a problem worldwide, even here in the United
Yeah.
States. Young teens getting abducted, and and going into the sex trade crime. It's terrible. So yeah, you definitely have to talk about the things that most people don't want to talk about. And
Yeah.
stress them out and give them goals to overcome it.
Yeah, sometimes they say it's a hard course, but it's
Yeah,
good.
I can't imagine. I would love to be
I
there to watch the
I
course.
have like 10 years developing this course, so I have meetings with psychologists because I have girls that just maybe they have a bad experience and they just bring it again. So
Yeah,
I needed to learn how to deal with that kind of stuff, that kind of stress, because you're
yeah,
pushing really hard buttons,
yeah.
and we really try to do our best. So and
Hey, I have a question for you, Edgar.
sure.
Why do you like ICCS? Being exposed to other people, what makes ICCS great for you in your school?
Uh, well, first of all, like I'm a true martial artist. I compete for many years, so
Yeah,
and I fought MMA as well and all that. So uh, I know that fighting is an essential part of self defense, and I like to fight. I like to roll every day if it's possible for me.
yeah,
So, and my first instructor, he was the real deal. He was no bullshit at all. And Jeffrey Minton, he was the real deal. He was just, I mean, even the way Sharir and other Israeli soldiers,
Beautiful
their sense of
voice.
humor, it's pretty much the same, kind
yeah,
of similar. So I have a different experience from other kind of organizations. So he he got enough with that and just quit.
yeah,
So I wasn't really joined to another organization because I wasn't convinced of what they do.
yeah,
It's just like hitting the pads. It's like hit and run.
yeah,
I'm tired. That's why I start training to learn how to defend myself, because I don't want to be just hitting and run. I want to be
yeah,
able to stand and fight,
yeah,
because if somebody else comes, you're ready. So um, one of our guys, he moved to Europe years ago, and he came I don't know, like was like 5 years ago, and he
yeah,
was here because we got like 4 years with ICCS already, and he was here, and he went to this Itai Hill seminar.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, and I was like interested, and I told him like, well, this and that. How was the seminar? I would like to go with him. And he was like, no, there's another guy that you should meet. It's because what you really want, I'm totally sure that you will be able to. And he loves to teach, and he's very nice, he's very humble, and this and that. And well, he was part of a school, so he knows. And yeah, put me in touch, and I start talking with Sharir, and then we'd have our first seminar.
yeah, awesome.
And just in the way, just like you,
Yeah,
the first few hours, I knew that he was the real deal. And actually, I didn't know he was part of the special forces. So that
yeah.
was even even
It
more
takes
incredible.
some time to get that out of him. I've been his friend for
Mhm.
several years now, and it's an honor to be his USA boss. But to find out his history, to talk about his IDF involvement, that's the last
Yeah.
thing he tells you, and you have
Mhm.
to pull it out after years. That's what I
Yeah.
love about him. He's authentic as it gets, but he's really about the teaching and the family and the training together, and getting to know all of us and making us all better. And that's uniquely different in the Israeli world. The
Mhm.
ICCS family is uniquely different because it's about a family for sure, and we're all
Yeah.
making each other better with authentic Krav Maga. But in other Krav Maga organizations, that doesn't happen. It's about the ego. It's about worshiping the leader or the head instructor of that organization. It's terrible. It's all about ego. It's not about, getting people
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think that that's pretty much what Sharir and all of us are trying to do, develop a real self-defense, people that can really protect themselves. Because
Yeah.
we have the pro courses as well,
Yes.
shooting and all that. And Sharir is an amazing instructor. We had a course here in Costa Rica, and it was awesome. The people who like, that really comes to the course, they were like shocked of what everything they were getting, and
Yeah.
who Sharir was when he started, like throwing some stories and doing
Yeah.
the shooting.
He's the real deal for sure. My other organization, I got to shoot with a Du Devon veteran. Du Devon is one of their special operations counter-terror units in Israel, and Du Devon in Hebrew means cherry on top. And shooting with one of those guys for several years, I learned pistol IDF method, and then I learned AR or rifle. And then
Mhm.
I trained it for several years, did several courses, 5, 6 years of that before I even met Sharir. And
Mhm.
then we invited Sharir for a pro course at my school here. We had about 30 some people come, and we started shooting. And he wanted to see how I shot. So all I knew was the method I shot with that Dudavon guy,
Mhm.
and it was verbatim the same methodology, verbatim the same methodology. How he clears, how he moves, the principles, and
Mhm.
then you realize it is definitely a military system. His
Yeah.
background is
Yeah.
definitely legit. And to me, that was really cool to see. I already knew the same motions, the clear, how to address a target. It was all universal because it was IDF methodology. And I
Yeah.
think that's, and
Mhm.
sure helps out with the Dudamon units now, Tuesdays and Thursdays up in Jerusalem. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, man.
Well, man, it was a pleasure to have you and talk to you a little bit. Hopefully, we can
Yeah.
have some other
No, yeah,
day.
really.
There's some
Yeah.
fights in the UFC as well, so check
Yeah.
that.
So
Come to Costa Rica when you can.
I would love to come to Costa Rica. You guys got to come to Florida. We have our annual instructor conference coming up here in November. We're about ready to make some moves in the United States. We got some big plans happening. Sure, I'll be here in a few weeks. We're filming some content. We're doing some cool
Cool.
stuff just for ICCS in general, so we can have better experiences in our schools.
Mhm.
Universal experiences. Really make sure that curriculum is well taught and it's out there for references. We're working on that in 2 weeks. Sharir's actually flying in, so I'm excited about that. But we're also, trying to make them a little bit more professional and get real, authentic schools. So, if you're a school owner or somebody in the world that wants to join ICCS, we have some qualifications for you. There's some things that we want to talk to you about, like, what is your combat background? Have you fought in the
Right.
Marine? Do you have a real combat martial art background? And then if we do have one of those things, then we would love to work with you. If you don't have those things, we'd love to give you some suggestions to get ready for us. Because we're not a weekend course. We'll meet you in a weekend, we'll train with you in a weekend, but it's going to take about 4 years to get a full instructorship from the
Right.
ICCS.
True.
Okay.
And after that, we want to make sure that you're teaching authentically. So we want to train with you at least once a year. And it's not expensive. It's not a money grab at all. It's just about getting together and training. And I think that's what's different about us. So if you're interested in ICCS, reach out to Edgar in Costa Rica. If you're interested in the ICCS in the USA, give
Mhm.
me a call. We'll get you hooked up because we want you part of our family if you're about the real authentic Krav Maga.
Yeah, they can contact us in Costa Rica, Central America, even South America, and
Yeah,
we are
man.
gonna hook you up for sure.
Yes,
All right,
brother. Well,
Joshua,
it's a pleasure
nice to
talking
have
to you
you.
guys. All right.
Fun.
Good,
We'll have to
man.
hook up soon.